right, new business. We have a speaker tonight to, I believe, give a presentation on Great Plains Industrial Park. Daniel Mann, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Thank you for allowing me the time and opportunity to come give you an update on Great Plains Industrial Park. Once again, my name is Daniel Mann. I'm the CEO for Great Plains Development Authority and the Great Plains Industrial Park, which is the former Kansas Army Ammunition Plant here in Labette County. Since February of this year, well, let me step back a little bit, I apologize. Great Plains, we're seeing a lot of activity. I would say in the last 5 weeks, we've had 7 different site visits from companies expressing interest in location at Great Plains Industrial Park. 3 of those 7 companies have been on site multiple times, and so we're just seeing a tremendous amount of activity. One of the exciting things I'll talk about a little bit more, since February of this year, the Kansas Department of Transportation and Kansas Turnpike Authority established an advisory committee to identify the most promising locations in the state for transloading opportunities. You may ask, what's a transloading facility look like? A transloading facility is moving goods for multiple modes of transportation. In this case, they're looking at moving goods by truck to rail or rail by truck. What are the benefits to transloading opportunities? It allows more flexibility and cost effectiveness solution for customers that do not currently have rail access either to their property or within their community. It allows for lower shipping costs. It's also a job creator, and it gives companies easier access to international markets for importing and exporting. This transload facility that was established back in February has been going through the due diligence process of, like I said, identifying areas within the state to place or help place these transloading facilities. They started out with 118 sites across the state that were submitted. They went through their due diligence process with this advisory committee, which I am an active member of, and also a consultant that they've hired out of Omaha called HDR Inc. They went through their first step of due diligence and questionnaires. They narrowed it from 118 sites to 30. Sent out some additional questions and response time, allowed for response time, and went from 30 sites to what we found out late last week down to 7. Great Plains Industrial Park is one of those final 7 locations. Department of Transportation Secretary Mike King sent out a press release today, and we followed up with our own press release. So we're really excited about this opportunity and the advantage that that could bring by being located in southeast Kansas. I will say we are the only site still in the running in southeast Kansas. So we're quite excited and looking at partnering with some of our neighbor communities. What does Great Plains Industrial Park bring to the table? What's kind of got us to the top of the list in our minds and some of the feedback we've received from the consultant. Great Plains has almost 7,000 acres ready for development. We own 30 miles of rail on property, on site, that has access to Union Pacific's main southbound line that can serve the international markets through either the Houston port or the Laredo port. Progress Rail Company, which is a subsidiary of Caterpillar, is our anchor tenant on site and also provides our rail service to our tenants that locate at the industrial park. We are less than 1 mile from U.S. Highway 400, and I think we can all attest to the improvements that's been made along 400 in the last few years. And we've seen tremendous opportunities from a grain transloading company. That is one of the companies that I mentioned earlier that has expressed interest. They've been on site 3 times now, and we're hopeful and optimistic that with this partnership moving forward, we'll be able to make an announcement of a grain transload. So they'd be bringing the commodities within 150 miles to the industrial park by truck, and then it would be loaded into a grain hopper car and out by rail. So with that being said, I'm confident that Great Plains Industrial Park will be selected as one of those sites from the Kansas Department of Transportation, and we will be that regional hub for transloading within 150 miles today and for many decades to come. What I'd like from the city of Parsons, is at this time a letter of support for this project. I will say Carolyn Kennett has been a great asset for me identifying companies within the city limits that have international markets and exporting to international markets that may not fully be served by local rail access. What we're finding is several companies within the region are either trucking products to or from Kansas City to get on an intermodal there in Kansas City. And if this is something we could bring closer to home, it would be a cost benefit for those companies locally, which we would hope to help them grow and maintain their base here in the city. So at this time, like I said, I'd like a letter of support. Our next steps is making a final presentation in Topeka on July 30th. And so a team of myself and a few of the businesses who's expressed interest will be making a trip to Topeka on July 30th. After the 2 days of presentations from the 7 finalists, the state hopes to have a selection of those locations within a few weeks. So we're thinking by mid-August they'll have an announcement. Some of the things that the consultant and the state are looking for is creating a public-private partnership. So the state, of course, doesn't want to spend tax dollars to build a transload facility for a company. So they're really looking for the locations where there is an expressed business interest, which we have, and also public support, which we have. And so we feel pretty confident that we'll be able to have a good presentation and build that